Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where I'm excited because for the first time in a while, I'm able to introduce the Terran player in the blue. It's Micro Jackson. It's ByuN. And his longtime rival over a decade, back and forth. The most entertaining Zerg, and in my opinion, player in the world. It's the final boss. It's Dark. And of course, here in the finals of the ESL Cup, a best of 5 Terran versus Zerg. And once again, ByuN said one time it was not enough. 2 times, not enough. I will still go Reapers, no matter what. There's some things you just can't nerf, okay? Marines, ByuN's Reapers, and the effectiveness of begging for likes and subscribes. Jimmy, what? 1,198 likes on this video, on this cast, on this experience, and I'll cast another series. And statistically not unlikely to be ByuN and or Dark. But, and I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. ByuN has decided to micro Reapers. In other words, it's a day that ends in Y. Bounces the Queen all the way back, somehow outmaneuvers the Link. Speed is only halfway done, which means plenty of times for the Reaper to work. Well, Reapers. 3pers in total. Not adding on anything extra behind. It's just the 3pers to start on the right side of the map. And that is somewhat puns intended. The right side of the map being the one on the right here where the add-ons are protected at the natural. A very important part, especially against someone like Dark, of being able to transition into a more stable mid-game. Even Dark, well, Dark's suspecting maybe some more Reapers here. ByuN, the grenades. Okay, well, three Reapers should not be able to kill all those Zerglings. Oh my god. The juke at the last second. Micro's back. Body blocks with the other Reaper. The grenades are going to be coming off cooldown. Gets another one. Oh my god, he almost got away with it. If the grenades came up a little bit quicker. Dark. I thought that was way too many Zerglings. It was excessive. It almost wasn't enough. God, the Reaper micro. Impeccable. And behind it, ByuN. Well, he's got Stim on the way, but he's going for a Liberator. Alongside reactored Hellions here. ByuN has had a tendency to build Marines and then transition into more Marines, and if he's lucky, Medevacs lately, and I'm sure Dark knows that. ByuN is clearly trying to hide the follow-up here. The Overlord can see the natural, of course. It has vision of the Stim pack researching. It can see the gases, but it does not see the starport. And the Overlord spotted the 3rd command. I think he saw the factory. Alright. But the Hellion should come as something of a surprise. As will the Liberator, unless he uses it for high ground vision. Dark spots the Hellions moving out. Medevac's on the way. Well, 1. Soon to be 2. Supply blocked at 69. Not very nice. Liberator's headed down. So ByuN is setting up a couple different options here in order to get damage done, and if Dark doesn't manage to block one of them, he could end up losing a lot of his economy. But he's got a lot to lose already. Sitting on 60 drones, building a Spore in the main. He definitely spotted the Liberator, or at least is prepared for it. Double Evo Chamber is already on the way, as well as a lair nearly complete. And that means Dark in a comfortable position going into the early mid-game here. He's going to have all the options for dealing with any early pressure from ByuN, but ByuN will have units, and units he can micro to his heart's content. He has 2 Medevacs and Marines, he's got Hellions, he's got that Liberator at the back. He managed to kill 3 drones, gonna siege up on the Queens. No main speed yet. The Queens are enough to take down the Liberator. Creep, driven back to the hatch there. Double Medevac drop over to the north side. Delaying the 4th base is still a moderate win. Especially when you're up against this mass Zergling style. The Marines And just as the Zerglings get the surround, he slurps them up, puts them right behind the mineral line, and without banelings, the Zerglings are just target practice. He'll stim again. Banelings finally closing in. ByuN once. That was embarrassing, Dark. Come on. That was just disrespectful. Micros, oh my god. The Queen's the only thing able to do some damage, but Micros away. 8 drones down. And ByuN. He might not have had much to work with, but it was plenty. He doesn't kill the 4th base, but now he's got an 8-worker lead. God, these Marines have done far too much. ByuN, 63 Zerglings. He's lost 10 Marines. He's coming in for more. He's using the Evo chambers against Dark here. Hydralisk Den is spotted. I don't think that Dark has any upgrades on it. Yeah, just like that, Dark knocked down to a mediocre economy. Not the kind of, you want to be 10, 15, maybe 20 workers up on the Terran if you're going for this Hydraling Bane style. You can get away with a lower number, but it's not comfortable at all. And the upgrades being about even. The medevac headed back. With ByuN being only 10, 15 seconds behind, there's not much of a window for Dark to potentially either counterattack or... Well, the upgrades are not just for outright attacking. They're to allow you to have less units at home to defend so you can counterattack. Because that's usually the way you undercut this sort of style. This parade push Terran, where they just keep marching across the map. Dark gonna try it, but ByuN has built the wall. The Banelings didn't realize here a hard wall at the 3rd. He's got depots blocking out the mineral line, and the Banelings tried to roll in, but they literally did not have a path that didn't involve going all the way around. ByuN's tank push is beautiful here. And the Marines? Well, Dark... That's all. The Banelings trying to find something to do with their lives besides just throw themselves into a depot. And they are failing to find anything worth it. They just want to kill themselves for the greater good, but... And ByuN won't even allow that. Oh my god. Okay. I wasn't sure. But... enough of the Marines taken out that ByuN is forced back. But this hatchery, not looking great. The counterattack. Well, down goes the 4th hatch. And ByuN is looking amazing right now. He just goes for the depots. He opens it up for the Zerglings. The SCVs are already on the run. No, what do you do with ByuN? Oh, trying to bait him in. ByuN's setup is just... the fortress that he's built, not the planetary one, the like normal fortress. He's built the defenses, funneling the Zerglings. Might be able to, he just sieges up. And off a creep, Lings and Banes without any sort of upgrade advantage. +2 melee attacks about to complete. But Dark is on a 3-base Zerg, up against soon-to-be 4-base Terran. And ByuN has not really lost SCVs. There's nothing slowing him down right now. What is going to stop him? If the Banelings manage to connect. Well, the Zerglings will overrun. Target fire onto the Banes, leaving just a handful. The tanks well spread there. And ByuN is maxed out. Dark's at 154 supply. It feels like that first double medevac drop with the Marines standing tall and gutting down dozens of Zerglings. Softening up the 4th, like, the momentum just shifted. Well, on top of the Hellions and the Liberator, it was a relatively bare-bones attack. But the strength of it could not be denied. And now, Dark, there's no saving grace. There's no hive? Oh, it does have a hive. All right. Vipers? Nope. Takes out the drop. ByuN just has to make sure he's methodical about sieging up. Doesn't get caught off guard by Banelings, and he should have the army to move forward. Methodical indeed. ByuN from the low ground up to the high here. shelling the queens. Zerglings will get the rep. Where are the banelings? Where are the banelings? He's holding the line. The medevacs are taking it out, but the trade. Oh no. And he drops in the main. The Marines already pre-spread out of the medevacs as they try to evade it, gutting down the queens. Oh my god, he had boost up again. And another army. Wow. Marines and tanks with medevacs in tow are sometimes leading the charge. Dark is getting outclassed right now. An education indeed. You cannot underestimate those Marines. 234 Zerglings and 32 Banelings to just 39 Marines. ByuN has been nearly 3 times more cost-effective. Adrenal Glands is gonna finish. There are some Vipers out there. Banelings do finally connect on some of the Marines. Feels like Dark is just hoping ByuN will throw everything into the Banes, but it's not gonna happen. GG. He doesn't even need the ghosts he already has in production. That was a pretty devastating game 1 for the final boss there. Wow. Looked like a relatively slow start, and then ByuN just turned on his aimbot and gunned down dozens of that was just pixel perfect. I think, you know what? Here's my conspiracy theory. He saw how well Clem was doing against a Raynor and even against Cyril. He's like, no. I can't be getting outdone. I'm not that old yet. I still got a few good years in me. So he's turned it right back up. Honestly, it's more for the wrists, I think. How long before? Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Knock on wood. But, like, it seems like every one of these top Terran players, especially, end up with wrist issues. ByuN, very, conspicuously in the past. Apparently Cure as well. As his struggles. Flash has had surgery on his wrists. I'm sure there are plenty of Zergs and Protoss out there who are struggling, but it seems like quite a common side effect of whatever the Terrans are doing. Don't feed their egos, alright? We will destroy our wrists if it means achieving a championship. And there's probably a better way there. But that better way doesn't involve having 100% accuracy against slow Banes off of creep. Okay. Reapers again. And on the side of the map that add-ons are quite exposed, I'm sure both players will realize that. Can't believe he almost killed all those Zerglings with the Reapers in game 1 as well. That was disgusting. I'm sure Dark got somewhat tilted by that. Finally killed him right at the end. 3 Zerglings left. So how many does he build? Ooh. Well, actually, no, not ooh. I take it back. I rescind my ooh. Until he builds another Reaper out of the second Rex. And that is when we can return it. Poke again. Trying to get a B. He's gonna see Zergling speed on the way. Surprised ByuN hasn't added on a reactor or snipes off a Zergling. Gets 2. Another one. He hasn't built anything back at home. Loses a Reaper. Bounces everything across. Factory on the way. That's where the gas is going. Reaper's gonna try to jump in, but Zerglings. Wow, he just goes for it. He sees the Zerglings, bounces them back to the other side. The Queens are in position, and he gets out the employee entrance. Well, only Reapers, really. And Colossi, which are technically not supposed to use it, but and whenever they do, it's a bit of a disaster. reactor and tech lab here. Looks like Dark not gonna try to... Oh, just drive-by snipes off the creep tumor. Nice little pickup on the way out. Losing one Reaper, a bit annoying, but denying the creep spread. Quite nice. Third command set. This time around, Dark has a full scout. He kind of knew what was coming last time, though. And that didn't really stop ByuN from being incredibly effective. Well, looks like he's just gonna go for it. He's going for the reactor. 2 Reapers enough. A Marine will definitely seal the deal. Banelings could easily... Did he just cancel Stim? He's an absolute madman. Is he pretending it finished? He starts it and then cancels it again? Is Dark looking at that? He's gonna get a Cloak Banshee. What is it? What is this mind game? He decides... Well, I guess he's not gonna have any very many Marines for a while, so... But he cancels Stim to get Cloak quicker. Alright. A bold move. We'll see if it works out for him. And Cloak Banshees indeed. Dark has... He hasn't started a lair. He's getting plenty of drones. He's got the Roach Warren this time around. Not sure how much that's a reaction, how much it's map dependent, how much it was... I don't know, the tea leaves said it today. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going mass roaches. Just wants to keep his options open. Would have been very helpful to have half a dozen or so roaches early in the last game as well. Spore Crawler is set up like he's going to be dealing with a Liberator. No Liberator to counter, unfortunately, this time. Evo Chambers at the natural. Gonna hide until he's holding on to the Banshees. Until he gets 2 of them. To be able to kill drones in a single volley. So really keeping them close to the chest here. +1/+1 starts a little quicker for ByuN, but he is still only on those 2 racks. Which means he's not going to have a whole lot of Marines for at least a little while. And again, ByuN doesn't need a whole lot of Marines in order to get a lot done. Overseer on the way. Yeah, the Banshees were an interesting attempt, but the Overseer comes out. Ooh, doesn't quite snipe him. Might get 1 drone. Nothing really coming up. Dark is more than ready here. He's got a dozen roaches on the way, though no roach speed. Clearly wants to be able to defend against this. Just mass Ravager? No roach speed at all. No upgrades. There we go, +1 roach speed. Maybe just now realizing he's gonna get melee attack as well. There's so many roaches. He actually cancels +1 ranged attack in favor of going +1 Carapace alongside +1 melee. So Dark right now, intending on switching it up to the Lingbane, but the roaches should be enough to box out the Medivacs. If ByuN tries to get too much done with the Medivacs and loses a critical mass of his bio units, then Dark can overrun it. That's the threat of the roaches. They're not particularly great at dealing with entrenched positions, but if ByuN spreads himself too thinly, there's some Ravagers on the way. Dark, one of the best, if not the best in the world at using them. Picking apart defenses, siege tanks, liberators, sometimes even flying units. Couple infestors in production. ByuN, gliding by, somehow manages to evade almost all damage. Hive is already on the way. Dark re-inspires the boost. Baneling speed? Baneling nest? Baneling nest is done. Speed has not been started. As Dark is spending some time chasing down these Medivacs, it looks like. Road Ravager. ByuN Doesn't find anything. Scan into the main. Sees, well, Hive is on the way. Macro hatch. Nothing unexpected, but gives him a timer. When do I need to attack? If he's going to attack, it's going to be at 200 supply. As the Hive is not yet done. A very important point. So he has a little bit of time to potentially work his way forward. And the Banshees come in, serving a dual purpose here. Both potentially killing things like Queens and scouting the Hive. Medivacs poking and prodding. Dark has taken a lot of the map, ByuN not finding nearly as much damage. ByuN is nearing a max out here. He's got a 4th command center on the way. Banshees. Plenty of Lings and Banes. 2-2 has a slight advantage for ByuN. The tension mounts. Hasn't been much in the way of actual kills so far, but that is about to change. Siege tanks set up in the middle of the map. How many Vipers? Building 2 Vipers now is Dark, completing 200 supply. Spire is most of the way done. And, whoop, the Infestors. ByuN trying to either snipe one off or bait out the fungal. There are no ghosts on the field. No Ghost Academy either. Dark is setting up the flank. ByuN's going to see it. The Vipers are just now popping out. ByuN repositioning. In fact, slurping up his tanks to reposition more quickly. I think starting to realize that Dark is threatening his 3rd. Greater Spire in production. Broodlords on the agenda. Lings and Banes. Against the mass tank style, this is something you can definitely use. The lack of ghosts might be a defining characteristic here. As Broodlords against siege tanks. Well, the siege tanks end up working for you when you have Broodlords. Drawing fire onto the Marines, the Marauders, whatever else gets close enough. The first Whittle Mines now built. I don't even know if they were on purpose, as it's been tanks all the time here. ByuN 3 more command centers. Ghost Academy on the way. Adrenal Glands. Parasitic Bomb. Gonna soften up some of the medevacs that the Bio Army has unloaded here. And I think he just saw the Greater Spire. Not that it's necessarily going to matter. Jams himself into this corner. Target fired down the drones. Gets 10 of them in the main, despite being run down. Still manages to hamstring Dark's economy, but he's going to rebuild immediately. He's got money in the bank, and he's not afraid to spend it. Oh. Widow Mine. Dodges. Wow. And the Marine. Oh, God, the Concave's beautiful. The perfect splits against the Corrosive Bio. As I say it, he eats 1 hit. But there are 9 Corruptors in production. 4 Ghosts on the other side of things. So we are reaching that late game. Corrosive Bio knocks out the rocks. Zoning Widow Mines. Siege tanks. Zoning even harder. We got some sensor towers covering most of the area. Another command center headed for the middle base, and that's not the only one that ByuN just finished building. How many orbitals now? He's got 5 of them. How many other command centers on the field? He's got just 1 more finished. So we're double-digit command centers. Just some extra orbitals for whenever you need a scan, which is most of the time. 9 Broodlords on the way. Infestor Viper. Ah, yes, Infestor Broodlord. Hello, Dark, my old friend. Come to ruin the meta again. I don't... Spore Crawlers leading the charge. Gonna rain down the Broodlings, but the snipes are already lined up. No fungal on the ghosts. And to start things off, those Broodlings... Well, the siege tank's starting to help out a bit. Down goes a ghost dramatically, as always. Widowmine actually hits a Broodlord. Trying to juggle back here. Infestors waiting for their opportunity on the high ground. Oh, The Ghosts struggling to get close here. Vipers. I think he wants to pull the Ghosts. Using Spore Crawlers. Beautiful fungal. Still the ground army. The siege will continue. And here comes Dark with all the Banelings. No blinding clouds, though. You'll be able to target fire a lot. It looks bad, but the Banelings are absolutely evaporating. And not close enough to ByuN's army. Dark did not do enough there. Well, that could have been a game-ending attack, but he just kind of rolled the Banelings in. ByuN may still lose this base. Dark has plenty behind it, reinforcing with dozens of Zerglings. EMP hits the Infestor, but there's nothing to match. I think this is what the Spores were for. Yanks a Viking into Queens and Spore Crawlers. Snipes knock out a Broodlord, soften up another. The Spores are helping against the Vikings, so that's what they were for. I wasn't really thinking myself. Thankfully, Dark is always doing so. Not enough for a fungal, or maybe could grab a whole lot more of the bio army. Dark still has money in the bank. He's building 36 more Banelings. Planetary Fortress in the center, but ByuN in a tenuous position economically. Dark is not rich, but he's maxed out with some money in the bank, which is better than most people can say in this economy. ByuN, on the other hand, is trying to get there. He's got Blue Flame on the way, +2 mech weapons. Gonna try some Hell Chads to buffer for the Broodlords. Snipes. Whoa. Fungal a bit on the late side. Parasitic Bomb looking for the Wombo combo. The ghost count starting to grow dramatically. 16 ghosts. Oh, Parasitic Bomb gets a couple more. What do we got? Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh my god, the Lings and Banes to the north side. We need to know. He just rolls in. This is while he was microing. Trying to micro the medevacs away. ByuN just not paying any attention. Loses 22 SCVs alongside the planetary. And down to 140 supply. SCVs he cannot really afford to lose right now. He still has enough to mine from these couple bases he has access to. But he needs everything he can get. The ghost count, 16. Incredibly spooky for Dark to deal with. Burrow on the way. I think he's realizing, yeah, I'm gonna need those Burrow Festers. The classic late game option. A very awkward angle there. Doesn't quite get to the tanks. Another planetary. Gonna get bopped by Banelings. Oh, right? Yes. Okay. Gets him on the way out. More Infestors. But ByuN's army is quickly becoming just ghosts. It isn't adding in ghosts. It's ghosts with anything else. It's now the main entree. He's got 19 ghosts. But Dark is still maxed out. He's taken the bases on the flanks. He has most of the map. All he needs to do is break the ghost once. Which doesn't sound so bad. Pulling back. Banelings rolling in. ByuN does have to find an opportunity to actually fight. You can't just keep running away. Well, some tanks taken out, but another orbital command. He has 7 of them, so running out of bases is not a real concern here. Another tank taken down. Gonna cost a lot of Zerglings. The Broodlords are swinging in from the left. Oh, but he forgot his detection. The snipes line up the shots. Or the ghosts line up the snipes. What? You knew what I meant. The Queens as well gonna be gunned down. Only one Broodlord remains as Dark reverts to a more conventional ground army. ByuN actually has taken the supply lead though. He now has +2 mech weapons. He's adding in the Vipers. Oh no! Yeah, ByuN had Vipers. This game will already be over. Manages to get the Vipers away. But Dark has kind of transitioned out of the Broodlords. He hasn't bothered with any more. As the ghost count has just gotten so damn high, you don't really want to give him a target to snipe anymore. So, Lings, Banes, no Hydras. A bit late to add the Hydras in, but still some potential there. EMPs. Gets a couple Parabombs though first. The Ghosts will cloak and split, but that won't stop the Banelings from at least getting close. Kill some more SCVs. Scans just in case of a burrow, which, smart move. Dark does have burrow done, but Dark actually doesn't have any larva. He has money, but he only has 1 queen, so larva inject isn't there, even if he has 10 hatcheries. Spamming Zerglings and Banelings. Well, from the Zerglings, but he's not able to spend it. He's gonna go for one more big wave of Broodlords. Or maybe he just wipes out the Medivacs, I'm not sure. But it's getting dangerously close to that point in the war of attrition, where the Zerg player just can't really get any more damage done. Dark has only lost 4,000 more minerals, and about 1,000 more gas. But ByuN's unit composition has gotten better and better. And he's about even on army supply right now. So, there's not even any liberators. It is just the ghosts here. 17 ghosts, 11 siege tanks. Oh, ByuN unclose tries to pick up. Several of the ghosts caught a little bit far out there. 11 Broodlords on the way. This counterattack is, well, the siege tanks obliterated that Thor. The Zergling's not nearly so effective as tanks at taking it down. Where are the Broods? Yes, the Lord of the Broods. 12. 14. He's going to make all of the Broodlords. Alright, this is not the most we've ever seen. That's more like 30, and I think that was Dark as well, but still a very healthy number. And, oh, doesn't quite have the cloak there. The fungal, but the snipes already came off, but a lot of the snipes only landed once. He didn't actually finish off any of the Broods. And Dark is starting to grind his way through. Another attack to the north. Multiple tanks will slow it down. The Broodlord's going to work. Grinding through, down goes the sensor tower. A lot of them badly bruised already. That fungal is so important. And the infestor's dead, and in that opportunity, gets a few more snipes off. But another fungal. ByuN is running out of options against the Broods, and the Banelings are rolling in to finish him off. And before he can do so, ByuN taps out. Dark is able to bring it all together. It was getting a bit dicey indeed. But Dark able to lock it down and knock him out. ByuN not quite zoning out the infestors well enough. And that means Dark is able to tie things up. Though dangerously close, ByuN really leaning on those siege tanks. I'm pretty sure those Widow Mines were accidental. So many siege tanks. Really going back to that Wings of Liberty style. Marine tank and maybe Ghosts at the end. But we're all tied up 1-1. Going into game 3. Oh my god, would you believe it? Not 1, but 2 barracks at the natural. Reapers again. I wonder if any of these games he just throws in the 3 racks. Which, oh, he's just scouting. Dark is scouting. He's doing his no gas 3 hatch build, where he sends the drone out early, and then ends up building a 3rd after scouting for the proxy racks. A bit of a dual purpose there. Obviously, getting 3 hatcheries, if someone has multiple barracks outside of your base, or even just 1, is risky business. Double Reaper. All right. I don't know how much it's on ByuN to mix it up. Dark was able to hold the line. I think the Cloaked Banshees were optimistic. Oh my god. He body blocked with the Reaper. so he couldn't do the extractor trick. Because the Reaper was standing on top of the geyser. Just for the moment it took to line up the pistols and gun down that drone. You know how embarrassing it is to lose a drone to the first Reaper? It's like walked into the wrong class in high school. All right. It's not traumatizing, but you look quite the fool. All right. Then you have to go move on, go back to build another drone, just pretend it didn't happen. And you know he knows. Like, we might not talk about it, but the Reaper knows. Everyone knows. Okay. They're thinking it. Or maybe it's one of those things only you think of for the rest of your life. That embarrassing moment. And nobody else even thought of 3 minutes later. Nobody else has that, right? That doesn't happen. Moving on. Third command center. Stim. You already know where the game's gonna go. The only question is exactly which path we take to get there. Roach Warren. 3... Wait. Was there already one? 3 gases for Dark. So, is this the Dark Hammer? Mass drone production into mass roaches. Try to smash your way through. A Raven? Well, that... It's not a Cloak Banshee. It's not a Liberator. Just rolling a D6? Are there 6? Viking, Banshee, Medevac, Liberator, Battle Cruiser. Raven. Did I say Raven twice? This is concerning that I don't remember. Yeah. Feels like every game. Maybe. If this series goes on long enough, we'll get a Battlecruiser game at this rate. As ByuN seems to be rotating his way through the early game starport options. So, is this a I'm just gonna slap a few turrets in your mineral line kind of Raven? Or a Twitch chat / YouTube comment, why don't they just build a Raven in the late game to clear a creep instead of scanning 412 times kind of Raven? Looks like somewhere in between. I'm gonna start out with the Raven headed towards the main and then probably join up and help clear creep. And the reason you don't usually build a Raven in the late game, you require a Tech Lab starport, which is not something you want to have when you don't need it. And also, it just dies. Even the best players, it just flies in and dies way too often. The detection scans only cost minerals, and even then, it's opportunity cost. It's not like you lose minerals for the scan. Maybe it should cost money for minerals for a scan. I don't. All right, the sound of 1,000 angry Terrans typing. Marines, pull the trigger on the stim and chase down the roaches. Whoa, 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 whoa! How many roaches are left? That one roach gets saved by the queen. It's all right. It's all right. I'm the last one. They're all dead. It's okay. We made some more. Oh. ByuN seizes an opportunity. Where is that Raven? It tried an auto turret. It got 0 kills, it seems, so far, but it looks like, well, gonna get, yeah, it's annoying. Gonna distract for a moment, but not nearly long enough to keep Dark from having the roaches in. Is that enough Marines? If ByuN starts the fight, he's pretty confident he can finish it. He just cancels the... Okay. Well, it appears roaches are not immune to this either. ByuN just walks up with exactly the right number of Marines to tilt the battle in his favor. The Raven came back in without the... So the Raven is dragging the Queens out of position. And without the Queens to poke at the medevacs or even add a bit of damage to the Marines, ByuN is able to take these fights much more easily. Yeah, the Raven... Oh! Well, I think that was a bit of a select all army hotkey action there. Trying to thread the needle. Or just trying to thread the needle between the queens and their knitting needles. Is that a double lurker den? Is that on purpose? Yes. I'm 73% sure that's on purpose. As his hive is already done. And he didn't build a lurker den with it, so... I think Dark's gonna go double lurker upgrades. Which is pretty crazy. And also a hive is done in 8 minutes, well, 7 minutes, what the? There's not even any hydras on the field. Well, that fourth base ain't gonna happen. Cancels immediately. More Marines and Marauders out there. But yeah, double lurk, mass double. Okay. Alright, you got it. It's a lot of lurkers. Well. Seismic spines, lurker range. He canceled the second one. No, you gotta play it off, Dark. Come on. You could have gotten both. He must have been like 95% done with it. I can't believe he canceled it. Come on, you just play it off like you're a genius who just figured out double lurker den is the way to go. And not that you didn't... You remember you built the first one. They were built so close together, like in time, that I really thought it was 27% chance it wasn't, though. All right, I gave myself that leeway. Well, Medivacs trying to come in, not finding it. Scans the main and the fourth. Another tank push for ByuN. Oh my God, it's not burrowed; it's just hiding.
Mineral field depleted.
The Medivacs could easily see it. Oh no. Another group of Marine Marauders, or the same group. Gonna take out the base. The lurkers are here. Oh, Feast and Fungal. Tanks on the high ground though. Oh, that's just too many of them. 4 or 5 tanks. Dark does have these 4 bases. Vipers, full energy. Ghost Academy, not even done here. So the Vipers, very important. Looks like he wants to abduct the tank. Oh my God, just one after another. Kidnapping the whole group of them. The creep is minimal at this stage. I think the Raven went down a while ago. Roaches, Lings, Ravagers, Lurkers, oh my. And chasing down the... Not confident he can fight it. It's 2-2 versus 2-2. But I think that moment of hesitation may cost Dark. As this fight is not nearly... Well, he's going to use the Lurkers to try to slice his way through. Catching a couple tanks is going to make it a lot easier. ByuN down to 2 tanks. He has nothing else which outranges the Lurkers. It wasn't a particular rush, but... And with Vipers, the ghosts aren't out. He doesn't need them. Corrosive Bile abducts another tank in Dark. Oh, the ghost pops out. Murdered immediately. Surrounded and killed. The Lurkers, looking for an opportunity, dunk their faces down and start throwing spines. A small drop at the back has been constantly annoying Dark, but Dark... He's in between the natural and the third. The ghosts are slaughtered. The SCVs eviscerated. And Dark goes up 2-1. ByuN gets caught microing Marines and Marauders and a few tanks yet again. But Dark is able to cut them to pieces. With those quicker lurkers. You know, if he had 2 lurker dens, he could have just... But quite a decisive game. I think Dark figuring out that ByuN is still ByuN and won't add in ghosts or late game units until he either has to or it's too late. What true Terran doesn't love microing M&M? Alright, ByuN, the progenitor, the first player to really convince us that you could simply build Marines or micro enough units and come out on top. And you know what? The first player to convince us, not so much the first player to micro Marines, but instead the first one to really show the heights to which you could reach by only microing Marines. Or insert incredibly, disgustingly, and possibly inconsiderately inconsiderable? I don't know. You can micro... This is all leading to you can micro Reapers a lot, too. We were working our way there. I lost track of it. Just like ByuN and his Ghost Academy in that last game. Alcyone. We'll see if we have a Cyclone or two. This map has kind of come out as the most dramatic one of the map pool so far. The relatively new map pool. I think I've seen the most, not necessarily half map games, but games that have gone to the greatest length while still being active. Which there's a big difference between a game that kind of gets bogged down. Like, I think Hecate, with its choke points and bridges and high ground locations, can kind of get bogged down to an almost just siege warfare situation. Whereas this map usually ends up in a rotating base trade of sorts if we get to the late game. Now, of course, neither of these players... He didn't go Reapers. Is it the Cyclone build? He's also not showing the first Marine, which means he wants gas. He's got 2 gas in the main. Aliens first. Gets a starport. Or is it battlecruiser time? Because why have 2 gas? And a starport on the way. Yeah, I guess Cloak Banshees as well. But quite a heavy tech build here. ByuN mixing it up entirely. Finally, swearing off the Reapers, at least for one game. The Hellions are hidden. The Overlord nowhere close to being able to see this. Starport. It's gonna be Cloak Banshee. Nope. Hellions reveal. There we are. Rotorn's on the way for Dark. So, game 1, no roaches. Didn't bother. Game 1, pretty convincing victory for ByuN, gunning down his Lings and Banes. Games 2 and 3, Rotorn. Plenty of roaches in the early game, enough to buffer, keep you protected. And, well, here we are. 2-1 Dark. ByuN is committing. The Zerglings, like, nope, stay away! They all die. Still 4 Hellions, 3 in the main, still a danger to the drone. And 4. 4. Dark gets in, he spots the Tech Lab starport as well. Very important here. Knows how to prepare. Overlord is taken out. Actually, supply blocks Dark, which is a little awkward. But knowledge is just as important. Well, so is detection. And that Spore Crawler isn't quite done yet. Which means ByuN will use the 3 or 4 seconds he has to kill a couple drones. Four more racks on the way. Banshee. Oh, 1 hit away. Another Banshee on the way out. As long as he keeps 1 alive, he will have something to defend at home as well. Hellion, don't do it. This madman. Running your Hellions in is one of those things you have to do like 10% of the time. All right. You gotta keep the fear in their hearts. You can't have them not building Zerglings. And every once in a while, and maybe half of that 1 in 10 times, it ends up getting real damage. I would say this time around, not so much. It's allowed Dark to creep spread with near impunity, occasionally getting picked off, but even though Dark isn't exploding in the drone count, it's not an uncomfortable position here. 3 racks done. Racks is 4 and 5, slapping on some reactors. The first couple medevacs on the way. Does he have combat shield? ByuN. No combat shield is a pretty big deal. Especially when fighting. Yep. Okay. Realizes, I think, looking over his army there. Oh, it's a Dark Hammer. He's got 62 drones. He's spamming roaches, throwing some Ravagers in. And this time around, the ranged attack is what gives it away. The intent to go much more heavily into the Roach Ravager, as opposed to ending up on Ling Bane soon afterwards. We likely, if the game goes on, we'll see that Ling Bane, as Roach Ravager is far too easy for someone like ByuN to micro against. But this is one of those builds that essentially relies on quantity being its greatest quality. Roach is one of the most aptly named units in the game. It's like Dark deciding not to commit all the way to the Roach Ravager, but instead adding a Burrow Infestation Pit, making sure he's got options for the later game. A scan will spot no lair. The lair was done at this time last game, so not a unworthy scan there. But that also means that ByuN has to be a lot more wary out on the map. Oh my god, putting it in the little vision blocker area. Disgusting. I'm pretty sure Ravagers can't hit that until he gets like at point blank range. Well, I don't know if you can cast it if it's on an even plane, but it's a weird vision blocker area. Quite a choke point in the center indeed. Roach Ravager. A couple tanks. Upgrades. 2-2 on the way for ByuN. Nothing for... Okay, +2 ranged attack for Dark. Huh. The depot walls. He's been very diligent about the wall up, the setup. It's those details that make a huge difference. Even spending 1 or 2 less seconds dealing with run-bys, counterattacks can pay dividends in the late game. A lazy wall-off is no wall-off at all. Just ask the Protoss. SCV, Zerglings. Well, early warning SCV. The construction worker in the coal mine, if you would. The tank push will continue forward. The Banshees as part of this as well. Dark is maxed out, though. It looks like the jaws are about to close. There are some infestors looking for an opportunity. Fungal could be devastating. He throws one out. The tanks are gone. Slurps up some of the Marines. Another Fungal tries to catch the tank. ByuN waiting out, but it just takes a little too long. And now Dark is marching across the map. Only 3 tanks left. Dark knows it's unlikely he's going to be able to go up the ramp and just kill ByuN. So instead, he's using all this space, a dozen more drones, a lurker down on the way, more bases, solidifying his position, getting the creep spread out there, but not going to risk losing dozens of supply running up a ramp into siege tanks. Maybe later. Vipers are out. Just 2. That seems to be the number most players favor. Enough to help dismantle the defenses without committing too much gas or supply. Double medevac drop. At the 6 o'clock. 4 Hydras. Filling out 200 supply. 2-2. Oh, triple score in the main. He's taking it very seriously. 2-2 is done for Dark now. Couple more drones gunned down. Unfortunate ones left near the mineral wall. And ByuN, forced to pick back up. Dark comes back, deflects it. Dark now holding on to 1, 2, 3, 5 bases on that left side of the map. ByuN, more evenly spread. 4 bases for him. More command centers in production. The tank. He finally finds an angle. Should be able to take it down. Oh, did he miss? Okay, he got it. ByuN still brawling over the center of the map. 3-3 is on the way. Throws up another round of corrosive bile. Roaches. This is Dark trying to trade out supply here. Those roaches, he would have liked to do more than that. But at the end of the day, he doesn't want stock roaches when he could have lurkers, vipers. A combination of the two. Oh, but the Marines, no marauders. Targeting the hatch, just a little late on the transfuse, but wombo combo, parasitic bomb. Queen knocks down all 3 medevacs. A heavy toll is paid for killing that hatchery. And Dark has more to fall back on. I think ByuN, a little bit of regret there. Those Marines, a lot of regret for a very short time. Gonna take the gold base now. 11 lurkers on the way. Banshee cloaks to dodge the corrosive biles, amusingly. Mass command center here for ByuN. Starting to slow things down. And ByuN is picked up into the medevacs and is headed over to the right flank. 4 medevacs this time. He hasn't unlocked his side of the map either. So he still has those mineral walls up. Bio army. Well, the lurkers will dunk right down. He tries to get the base. He knocks out the gold and delays the rebuild of the hatchery. But, well, ByuN is this is him trading out Marines and Marauders now, so he can build ghosts. Tanks, maybe Liberators, though we've seen precious few of those. The lurkers slicing up. ByuN not quite able to react in time. The Ghost of Firing Squad lines up a volley and takes a lot of the wind out of the sails of this attack. Yanks in some of the tanks. Onto the front line. ByuN. Well, there's still a lot of lurkers here. Many of those Ghosts badly bruised. Snipes. Popping the Ravagers. Some of the Hydras. The tanks. 8 of them in total. 16 Ghosts. How many Infestors left? 2 Infestors. Not sure where they are. Everything else is getting kind of thinned out here. It's just the lurkers, which are still a real danger. +3 attack is about to complete. But ByuN looks like he's going to try to break this. Lining up more shots. There's not enough lurkers to interrupt all the Ghosts now. As ByuN just grinds his way through the remaining lurkers. And the Bio Army will clean this up. 3-3 is done. Dark will rebuild. But that was a costly effort. 11 more lurkers on the way. More scampering back. Dark doesn't have that much gas. Oh, Liberators finally added into the composition. Ghosts try to line up the snipes, but interrupted by the Burrow the Scan. A little bit late there. This is just an orbital command, so it can lift, but doesn't help very much with the defense. A drop at the back, trying to drag some of Dark's supply. It's all committed now. Something of a base trade. As multiple command centers out in front. The lurker's having a tough time. He lifts the command centers, almost allowing Dark in. He doesn't want to lose them. Meanwhile, the Bio Army's going to work. And here's that rotational base trade I was talking about. 20 Hydras on the way. I don't think either player has enough to end it. But do they have enough to efficiently clear out what's at their base? Dark again. Ooh, another Ghost just eviscerated. There should be enough Hydras at the back. Is there detection? No detection for the Ghosts. He's gonna micro back. An awkward situation. Everything stalls out. ByuN was able to take out 2 hatcheries, 3 hatcheries over to the bottom right, whereas Dark drove ByuN off of the 12 o'clock position and killed a whole lot of his army. Wow, the economies are struggling here. 152 to 121 supply, a single brave Hydralisk, and it's Zergling for moral support, chasing down an orbital to the top left. The scan spots that the lurkers have moved. Another scan tries to line up some of the Hydras. Ooh, he's setting up for a fancy boost here. Sacrifices the Marauder. Slurps him up. Ah! A dangerous game trying to get those ghosts out of there. Somehow, this game is... Oh, well, it's gone from times of plenty. Dark has a significant income advantage, but 12 mules or so just dropped. And that should make up for it, as ByuN now has the income. And Dark is not maxed out. He has a lot of gas, but his mineral income, the main base is gone, the natural in the third. ByuN kind of helped him out. He killed the hatchery at the third so many times that he's not mined out of it yet. But that orbital mining, grabbing all the minerals there. A baneling nest. A late-stage baneling nest. Wow. Not exactly what you expect to see at the 18-minute mark. But Dark has not... Oh my. Those burrowed festers. He's trying to chase the fog. Oh, he gets it! He needs another one. He needs another one. And he finds another one. The fungal for the back, but the EMP negates the follow-up. Was there a boost here? Is there detection? No, there isn't. He turns it right back around on him. Gonna get the Infestor as well. The Infestor burrows. A scan. He uncloaks. What a weird skirmish that was. And then the ghost just kind of run into lurkers. What an appropriate end. Oh my god. After all that, the ghosts just wander into the lurkers and get absolutely impaled. All that effort, all that micro, ripped to shreds, I say. Wow. Well, losing what was about half of his remaining ghosts, definitely not gonna help. Just scanning. Just throwing scans out. He's got 11 orbitals. He can literally scan. No, he's scanning 3 at once right now. Oh. More scans than the Costco checkout aisle. Just, at this point, you scan behind you, scan in front, scan on top of you. Could be infestors anywhere. Scan to see if anyone's commented why doesn't ByuN build a Raven yet. While it wouldn't necessarily hurt, doesn't necessarily save the day either. Also, all that gas gotta go into the ghosts. So Dark is maxed out. We've struggled our way back. I like how you could see the mule stimulus package. Giving a brief respite, but Dark overall maintaining a significantly higher income. There are a finite amount of minerals and gas on the map. So, I feel like it's been a while since I've started counting. But it does seem like one of those games. Attack Denitis. Using it Brood War style to move lurkers around the base. Baneling speed is not done. The Baneling's on the field here. Nidus pops out. Might cause a moment of panic for ByuN. But the Nidus is, of course, scans as well. Burrowed Fester, Nidus. Dark starting to expand his toolbox. I choked a little when I saw them walk right over the infestor. It was so dramatic, I inhaled too sharply. And now I'm drowning. in the drama of this game. Oh, never say casting StarCraft isn't a dangerous job, because that'd be mean. Well, ByuN nearly maxed out. Dark there with a bank. We've dragged ourselves back up to 200 supply, but the EMPs, as well as a missile turret. Hydras, Lings, and Banes rolling in from every side. Well, most sides. Not a particularly great fight for Dark there, who's now lost 2,000 more gas, about 5,000 more minerals. The Nidus killing squad, the exterminators over here. Lurkers, but lines up the snipes. The ghosts, not interrupted in time. There's no detection. He's just gonna snipe his way through. One more lurker. But Dark, that's some pretty heavy losses. What's happening in the center of the map? A few Zerglings. Oh, but did ByuN overstay his welcome? Indeed he did. Well, the ghosts are actually pretty good against insert unit here, but ByuN moving on to the creep, actually looking to attack. It seemed like ByuN was content to just try to deny and fight a war of attrition, but now on winning that fight, has decided there's a planetary in the center of the map. Still choking on that infestor. That planetary in the center of the map, surprisingly dangerous, because that's the path you have to attack either side from without going all the way around, especially with the tanks there. Now Liberators holding the bridges. Hydras, Lings, and Banes to the north side. 3-3-3 done for Dark here. Whereas 3-3 and then +2 vehicle weapons for ByuN. The banks are starting to get closer as Dark is running out of gas. He still has some bases to mine from. There's 15 ghosts, 12 tanks, 22 marines, 116 Zerglings. Oh my god, he's fighting the center planetary. It'll get 25, 32 kills before going down. Though Hydras and Lings are still going to be able to overrun most of the rest of the field. So many wow. Well, some of them are going to get... Almost all of these are orbitals. That was the only planetary, I think. ByuN favoring a more flexible style. The ghosts? Well, Lines up the snipes. EMP. Oh my god, the ghosts. A cinematics. Oh my god, he doesn't have detection. There's no detection. A spore crawler is unburrowed. A fungal. And he'll get the rest of them. Oh my god, the titanic effort required just to kill the ghosts. The hatchery is nearly dead. But now Dark in the red. And I don't just mean his color, I mean in supply. 160 to 140. Another burning orbital looking for somewhere to land. The Zerglings will run through the liberation zones, overrun the tanks. They're scraping for everything here, but I think ByuN's army composition is better suited to this situation. Where the mass ghosts of the orbitals compared to Zerglings. Maybe a few infestors. But the ghosts in small numbers against Zerglings and Hydras in small numbers. Almost up. And Dark just taps it out. He sees the writing on the wall. Maybe not the ghost behind it sniping through. Wow. It started going from bad to worse. ByuN only had 28 SCVs, but his army supply just massive compared to it. And it's that ultra late game that if you don't really get the jump on the Terran, you're gonna have a real tough time in turning it around. And it looks like this time, Dark not quite in position to do so. A lot of casualties that game. My voice, or ability to speak properly, Dark's patience. I don't know what happened to that one infestor, but apparently 20 orbitals and 25 ghosts. The way to go. ByuN, willing to go all the way. Just like this series. We go into the final match. Game 5. In a best of 5 that has... Even if this game ends with a 2-rack, still longer than most best of 7s. Both of them willing to go the distance, even for these weekly tournaments. It's going to be back to the 2-racks, 4 out of 5 games. The Hellion Banshee did find some success, but at the end of the day, the Reapers are where ByuN's heart lies. Pool first for Dark. With a gas. Just throwing that on there. Does he go for the Bane Bat? It would be just like Dark to do his only cheese in Game 5. Anticipating... Oh, and ByuN throws on the 3rd racks for the first time. I think it now depends on what Dark actually decides to do. Because if it's just Zergling speed, that's disastrous for Dark. More than likely. As the Reapers will easily overrun. Now, if he tries to turn that into a Bane Bust and hits at the right time. Because ByuN unlikely. He didn't SCV Scout, right? No SCV Scout. First Scout's going to be the Reapers coming across the map. To make it a lot more difficult to recognize how quickly that expansion came up. Overlords looking for our... Well, they see the Reaper. And, oh... Well, he sees the 3rd racks in the main. I didn't realize ByuN had built it in such an obvious location. And there you go. So how do you handle it, Dark? Dark with some one... Oh my god, what was that? Excuse me, sir. The Reaper did a weird runaround. Okay, wait. No, we gotta go back. Even Dark is confused. What was that? That looked like AoE 4 pathing right there. Did the Reaper... That wasn't intentional, right? I'm not sure if ByuN wanted to come back up, but... Oh, that was an odd one. He didn't actually click... Oh, he clicked back over here! A mistake! Little does Dark know, or maybe he does, that he's actually trash-talking ByuN. But ByuN made a mistake and clicked up to the high ground there. ByuN says, Zerg OP, can't win. My units even think so. Please buff Reapers. That's my direct translation. But yeah, a bit of Miss Micro. You know, playing StarCraft 2 at high level for over an hour. Believe it or not every single click can be perfect. And sometimes that one click is all it takes to spell disaster.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
Plenty of Zerglings on the way. Dark knows about the 3rd racks, obviously. Plenty of Reapers behind, though. There's no way he's going to delay the stim. Yeah. Reapers are hiding. Trying to bait the Zerglings in. Dark knows better. He's building 10 more Lings. Dark does have a slight lead. Yeah, the Reaper count. Well, he has enough lings to easily catch and kill any Reapers that move out here. Roach Warren's on the way. Ugh. ByuN does want to pick off as much as he can. It looks like they'll both be pushed back somewhat towards their corners and dragged into a more macro game. Stim and +1, so ByuN really leaning. He doesn't have a third command center, right? No, 3 racks, Marines, and medevacs. He wants to end this like it started, with ridiculously efficient Marines and medevacs to back him up. And we'll see if Dark can defend. He's building 10 roaches. He's got plenty of Zerglings on the field, but he doesn't have that third base. Going for the pool first and then building all these lings. Delayed the third. Which means there should be a timing here where ByuN can maybe get damage done. Dark is looking to smash the Marines. He's got Ravagers. He's got Zerglings on the way. This actually is a Ravager bust. He doesn't have a lair. Neither player. Okay, I said they're willing to go to the distance, but here in Game 5, both of them going for effectively a 2-base all-in. Dark will be the aggressor. There is no combat shield, which makes those Marines way more vulnerable here. The medevacs aren't quite done yet. And Dark will be busting through the door. +1 infantry weapon's not done, but the Zerglings! He held on to the Lings! The LCVs were pulled! ByuN stutter steps forward! I feel like Dark should have enough, right? But the SCVs being pulled actually gave ByuN enough of a concave to make a game of it there. And he didn't lose so many that he's incapable of producing. But those medevacs gotta heal up what Marines they can. Knocks down both racks at the center. More SCVs are pulled. The Zerglings are coming in. Dark. Oh, he's trying to end it right here, right now. But the Marines are stutter stepping forward. The medevacs are helping out so much. 13 SCVs. Gets another Ravager. But ByuN is running out of units. Oh, he saves. He's got to save that tank. He's got to save that tank. It's so important to save that tank. Oh, be very careful. He can micro the tank. Or he can just fight with the tank, I guess. Like, that also works. There's no way he just lets that die, right? Yeah. Tank on the high ground. Gets a shot. Kills a Ravager. But that lack of combat shield really showing here. 36 to 28 workers. Drops a couple mules. The supply doesn't really tell the stories. Those are +1 Marines with medevacs and a tank on the high ground. A whole bunch more Zerglings. Dark just keeps going. There is a world in which ByuN holds. Oh my. The army supply is 62 to 18. But that is a hard world to imagine here. Building a bunker, anything you can do. There's just not that many Marines. 2 tanks, the Overlord to give high ground vision. He gets close enough. He's going to try to move the tank out of there. He actually manages to reposition. But the Roaches and Ravagers, GG! Dark breaks through and breaks him down. 3 to 2 will be the final score in an exhaustive Terran versus Zerg series. Jimmy, wow. Dark commits everything and smacks down ByuN in Game 5 after that 25 or so minute game before. Quite a finals. Getting your money's worth, or at least your likes and subscribes worth. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Make sure, if you got the means of motivation, check out Patreon, YouTube membership. Either way, like, we already went over the like and subscribe. But make sure autoplay is on the right video. And I'll see you on the next one. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you for watching. Stay chill.